support of many of these individuals, and can count on this as a positive relationship to help keep the community progressing towards a bright future. We need to reduce taxes and build healthier relationships and communication with our partners and other levels of government. We need to first take a look at our aging infrastructure. We need to encourage and promote opportunities for our youth to find meaningful employment in our community to ensure that they want to live here, along with the retirees, and that our infrastructure can support them without being a drain on taxes. We need to work together at getting businesses and industry into our community. In turn, that will create employment, and of course that will bring our tax base lower. But not forgetting about the existing businesses and industry. We also need to promote tourism. This year I was appointed to the board of the Union of British Columbia Municipalities, the UBCM, which represents municipalities and regional districts in BC as well as the Islands Trust. I was appointed by the province and the UBCM for a 3-year term on the RCMP Contract Negotiation Committee. Currently I serve as first vice president of the Association Vancouver Island and Coastal Communities, which is the AVICC, which is the oldest established association under the umbrella of the UBCM. The AVICC has a membership of 51 municipalities, and I'm scheduled to be president in December of 2014. There are a number of other important issues I've been working on in an effort to help benefit our community. I work with 911 for most cost-efficient service. We were supposed to get a 14% tax increase this year in our region only, and it was going to be, we were going to be paying $3,792,640, and now it went to $2,194,000, and we are saving $1,598, and that's amazing. There's a lot more that's happening. I'm working with the province on the watershed issues here in Port Alberni, as well as the other things to do with the cost-efficient service for BC Ferries. So this is all part of outside of this community that will benefit our region. Also with the Fortis gas, a 30 to 40% decrease in your bills that you will be getting, that we have been working with the AVICC. So that's a big bonus for the $100,000 cash back.
Number 2 speaker, Jacques Savard.
Warnings, this speech may contain passion. I, Jacques Savard, stand before you as the only mayoral candidate and aspiring statesman who offers an alternative to the sickly status quo and demagogue strangling our city and preventing Port Alberni from advancement. Here are the symbols of my platform. This $100 bill represents the greed responsible for pervasive corruption at City Hall. And this, Robert Tyrettship, represents the incredible contempt big industry has for Port Alberni, forcing us to breathe heavy metals, including cadmium. As your future mayor, I pledge selfless service to eradicate corruption and pollution, choking the life energy of our community. When bad corporate citizen Catalyst created their infamous bankruptcy situation by making the largest cash settlement to shareholders in Canada, Catalyst's demand for lower taxes became extortion. Council catered to this extortion and continues to send corporate welfare to Catalyst with the purchase of his sewage lagoon for $5.7 million, more than doubling our debt load. Catalyst is the source of Port Alberni's health problems and money problems. Best thing that ever happened to Campbell River was when Catalyst closed shop. Campbell River is now a thriving, healthy community with unsolicited developers lining up to present proposals. So how do we, the people of Port Alberni, break free of our collective Stockholm syndrome? We develop a local economy by unlocking the creative potential of our youth. If City Council can give $300,000 loan to the Chamber of Commerce at 1% interest, the precedent has been set to give no interest or low interest loans to our young entrepreneurs.
Thank you to the Labour Council and the Chamber of Commerce for organizing this forum and providing me the opportunity to participate. I congratulate my fellow candidates for their willingness to put their names forward for the position as Mayor of Port Alberni. Let's show the rest of the province that in Port Alberni we care about our local government and we care about our right and opportunity to vote. As many of you know, I was born and raised in Port Alberni. I've seen the issues that we've faced firsthand. As an educator, I've seen all facets of this community. Port Alberni has had many economic challenges. I returned the year that M&B laid off about 2,500 full-time employees and the school district closed 7 schools. This would have had a huge impact on any large city, but for Port Alberni it was catastrophic. It was transformational. Many families had to make very difficult choices, but we've survived, we've pulled together, we are a resilient community. The people in Port Alberni are its greatest asset. The challenge for a mayor is to harness the skills, interests, talents, connections of the people. We need to work together toward a common vision that everyone has had the opportunity to help define. That's one of my strengths, bringing people together and working toward a common purpose. Leadership is about helping to create the desire to contribute, inspiring people to go beyond what they thought was possible and helping to define a common purpose. We need a strong mayor and a council to provide direction to the city. We need positive and constructive dialogue. We need a mayor and council that will create and model that process. If I'm elected mayor of Port Alberni, I'll work with the next city council to accomplish that. We need business taxes that are fair throughout the city and not just applicable in one area. We need the taxes to be an incentive to investment, one that brings business to town, not drives it away. We need residential property taxes that make sense to people. I propose that we establish a business advisory council to work to help establish a climate in our city where business investment feels that it's welcome. We can work with our business leaders, help showcase their products, their expertise, their energy, and together create a business environment that reflects our community in the direction in which we want to go. We compete against the best of the best in the world with the young people who come out of our schools. We do the same with our businesses. Working together, we can expand on that. Port Alberni has a talented and resourceful city staff that can only be as effective as the mayor and council. They hold the city together and they work for and with all of us and can justifiably be proud of what they do. They will be the backbone of the transformation that we need in our city. This city has commissioned many reports and studies. What has happened to them?
Teamwork and direction seem to be the themes of this year's election, so I decided to talk about a game plan that speaks to playing more of a fundamental game. LNG and the container port and numerous big projects sound great and may or may not come to fruition, but they're at least 10 years away. And they certainly would be a home run for our community. But I would prefer that we consider a more strategic game plan for now. Too many times in the past have we put our faith in our heavy hitters to smash one out of the park. But so far we have struck out. We need to start playing a game that has more hustle and some more grit. Singles, bunts, and stolen bases define a winning team. This current coaching staff seems to be sending in their big guns and confidently insisting that we will win the game. The Smelter, the Cold Port, and half a dozen other at-bats have resulted in us being in last place, worst place. When will we change this strategy? We need to put runs on the board now, and it does not matter how we do it. One hit does not win the game, but it gets us a few extra players on base, and if we get a container port or other big project come through, we will have a grand slam. But it does not matter if we do not get them, because we'll still have a team, and a team that's on the game and in it to win. I would like to speak to you of our Uptown team, a ragtag lot of hard-working people who do their best to keep their dreams alive. And over the last 2 years, we have worked together supporting each other and coming to a game plan of our own. When I first moved uptown, I was confronted with the fear and anxiety of the general sense of doom. Zellers had confirmed that they would be leaving our community soon, and the merchants who toiled and struggled to keep their businesses alive saw only inevitable failure in their future. And all of them had their eyes on City Hall, wishing and hoping that they would do something for them. And I came to them and asked them what they thought the city could do for them, and in reality they did not know. I said, well then let's make a plan of our own. So we got together and discussed what we needed and what we wanted. But I first had to calm them down about the fears of Zellers leaving. I told them Zellers is an anchor store, that is true, but it is also competing with you on some level. I told them that their sales would continue to increase and they would continue to see service from the people of their neighborhood.
1 minute.
I told them that their customers would remain loyal and in most cases they would see no change, and while others actually saw an increase in sales. This in turn gave them their confidence back, and their pride began to grow. So now they hustle and they play hard and they believe in themselves, which is what really matters. We have a team, and a team that has players on base and a chance to keep playing this game and possibly win it. Now I want to start building a new team, and this team I would like to put the whole city on the roster.
30 seconds.
I have written down my plans in black and white, and you can judge for yourself if they have merits. I am willing to be able to speak to you exactly about my plans, and I will hope to expect the same of my competitors. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to participate tonight in Progress Talking. My name is Hara Chopra, and I would like to be your mayor. I have lived and worked in Port Alberni for over 34 years, and I'm proud to call Port Alberni my home. I believe I have excellent skills and experience to provide the leadership to help our great city to the next level. My experiences includes 18 years as your councillor for the city of Port Alberni, 5 years as the chair of our regional district, successful local businessman, executive board member of my union USW 185. I have bachelor degree in economics, I have a master in history, and I have a diploma in physical education. I'm working at APDL Sawmill from last 24 years. I have made lots of connections at all levels of provincial, federal, government, and First Nation and other investors. Despite a number of economic challenges the city has faced over the past 25 to 30 years, our population has remained relatively stable. There are many new families who have chosen to move here, and many new businesses have opened. This has actually improved shopping and services available to our city. As your mayor, I stand for. I have a plan with the help of my other city councillors. I will, and we will, freeze residential tax for the next 2 years. Previously, we reduced industrial taxes from 60% to 41%. So now is the time to look after the residential people. We will, with the help of other councillors, balance our city budget without increasing taxes through better use of our income for those core services that are needed. We will work together with council, provincial, federal government, First Nation, and all the union to make a partnership to create some jobs for our young children.
30 seconds.
Ensure council create a business-friendly environment, and we are open for business. We support the tourism for our community. So I have a resume in front of you. So 7 people applying for a job, and you please look at everybody's resume, and if you think I'm good enough to serve you, please vote for me. Thank you.
I'm sure you want to know where I'm from, and actually, I spent my life in the oil industry for 30 years. I worked in all the major cities of Canada, and my last station was in Calgary, Alberta. I came to Port Alberni 7 years ago with my wife because we found this town to be probably one of the best places to live in. So the first thing I really want to, besides the background, what I'd like to do is give you covered by priorities. My first priority deals with residential tax. As you know, back in 2007, council made a decision to cut the addressable tax by $2,125,000 and transfer that amount to residential taxes. Though the transfer may have solved one problem, but it also created two new ones. Yeah, sorry about that. So the problems I think that created is put fixed income householders and our seniors in financial distress. And that is very true. And for the rest of us, it took a heck of a bite out of our discretionary income that we probably would have spent in our local businesses. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm a firm believer that taxes do not create jobs nor grow economies. And I also understand the necessity to keep capital solvent and protect much needed jobs in the city. The message I'm trying to get across is that the smart thing to do was to cut city expenses and apply it against the residential bill rate, and I plan to do just that. My second priority is commissioning an articulate economic plan, also known as a strategic economic plan. As we all know, that the intent would be to grow our current industry and pave the way for new industries to call our city home. These could be anything from light to heavy industries. What I see is an economic plan dealing with general industry, forestry, commercial, fishing, tourism, energy, and just about anything that's going to create jobs in our city. To develop an economic plan and getting it right is really daunting, and so we have to show that the right people in City Hall. I'm going to try to hurt this. Okay, for the record, back in 2007, one of the reasons we used to hire a development manager was so that he could commission and steer such a plan, an economic plan. For reasons unknown to me, this initiative was postponed to 2008, then to 2009, and then this occurred completely in 2010. I would like to revive that and make the city a more livable place to live in. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. My apologies, this is going to be quick. Listen up, please, I've got 3 minutes. Hello, my name is John Duncan, I'm your mayor. Here's a very basic compilation of some of our accomplishments over the previous term. We've constructed through consensus with all of our city council a basic strategic plan for our future. We've done a tax revitalization program and implemented it uptown. Catalyst paper was stabilized through improved communication and lobbying. We built strong relationships with forestry, business, municipal, and provincial and federal government partners. We've done a thorough economic assessment of business community here. We've increased the transparency of City Council through increased accessibility. We've modified the procedures of city council meetings to allow increased public participation. We've done a thorough internal assessment of our transportation alternatives to allow for planning and funding applications. Public waterfront access has been improved at Canal and Harbor beaches. The residential tax levels are on a downward trend while we've been retaining our core services. The former Zeller's Uptown property has been sold and is being revitalized. Infrastructure needs such as water and sewer have been enhanced to allow for future growth capacity. We've achieved, for the first time ever, a 5-year working agreement with city union workers, encouraging collaboration instead of confrontation. We've done a thorough bylaw review and assessment has been accomplished. New bylaws have been passed, encouraging urban agriculture, chicken and bees, legal secondary suites, grandfathering of former secondary suites, addressing their safety concerns, and creating mortgage helpers. Derelict buildings have been targeted with a new derelict building bylaw. We've acquired funding grants for the Alberni living assessments and centennial celebrations. We've spearheaded large potential projects such as the Transshipping Container Port and Steelhead LNG. We've promoted and lobbied for improved transportation corridors at our airport, our highways, and our rail. We've improved health facilities and procedures. We've improved post-secondary curriculum. We've worked with the school district to promote international educational programs. We've promoted formation of merchant groups to improve marketing and general success of small businesses. We've promoted protection of our watershed through environmental lobbying and diligent dialogue with forest companies. We've promoted Port Alberni as being open for business and as an affordable, healthy community. We've encouraged less red tape and a more solution-based approach to development. We've formed working groups to promote and lobby for improvements in health, education, and urban development. We've lobbied with big business, the provincial and federal governments, promoted growth of the marine industry by partnering with Canadian Alberni Engineering and our Port Authority. We promoted healthy living through a vibrant Parks and Rec department. Most of all, we've created an appetite for growth and raised the positive profile of Port Alberni. Thank you.